Good evening, you bastard sons and daughters of 100 maniacs. It is I, Hunter Shea, with Final Guys. My Horror-tober thing. I am joined by one co-host, Jason Brant.
We finally fired Jack because he sucks.
We had a meeting.
He's out.
That's done. Can't take anymore. It's funny because I think was it Pamela was just saying how Jack and I, because we just did a Monster Men that came out. And she says, "You guys are so nice when you're together." I guess Jason is the one that stirs it up.
It is.
Yeah, pretty much. You bring it out in us, a lot of anger, hate, whatever.
You guys don't even swear.
No. Well, I'm not allowed to swear. I did say shit. And I did get a look.
For all you people in the chat, check out my sweet shirt I got. It lights up every time I speak. Pretty money, right? I like it. It's the best $5 ever spent on Amazon.
When I first saw the shirt, I thought it was Tetris.
Nope, just an equalizer doing its thing.
I should have worn my glow-in-the-dark shirt. I have 4 glow-in-the-dark shirts, which no one over the age of 10 should have.
I actually have a Ghostbusters glow-in-the-dark shirt. It's pretty cool.
All right, so I don't feel so bad. Okay, so today we are Jackless, so we are one less jackass, but we are reviewing 2 movies today. We're reviewing Gerald's Game and
the all-time classic, Batter Ben.
Bad to the Ben bone.
Which has maybe the best third act I've ever seen in a movie.
That movie was... I won't get into it. I don't want to spoil it right now. So,
bury the lead.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to shorten up the first half so that way we can talk more about these 2 movies that are special in their own unique way. But I do have some quick horror news, and it's quick and it's lovely. You and I will appreciate this. That Stephen King show, The Mist, has been canceled.
Already?
Already.
How many episodes did they even do?
What I know, 6, 8, something like that.
Oh my God.
So it did not do well. But he can't have everything this year.
Did you watch it?
No.
I never did either. I heard it was not good. So that's one of my favorite stories ever, that novella. And I just didn't want to see something that wasn't going to do it justice.
I love the movie. I love both the book and the movie, the novella and the movie. And I was nervous. Incredible. Although you could have done a lot with that because it centers, if you go by the movie, it centers on the supermarket. Well, there's a whole town, there's a whole surrounding area. But
it could have been really good. But I'll probably end up watching it at some point just to see. But
see, I'm relieved now I don't have to. Because I worried that it would take off and then we'd have to watch it next year and I'd have to catch up and I'm like, oh, geez, another show that I don't want to watch. So The Mist is now gone with The Mist. No Mist.
I can't say I'm sad.
No. The other one, this is going to come as a shock. The movie Flatliners, the remake, revamp, reimagining, Flatlined. I know you're shocked.
Yeah.
But it did not do well at all. It came in, I think it had a box office of a little over $5 million, which I don't think covers craft services for the movie. So somebody's in trouble.
Someone sent to me on Twitter the Rotten Tomatoes score. I don't remember who it was. And it was like 0% the day it came out.
0.
Ugh.
How do you get to be 0?
I mean, you always get at least one drunken idiot who thinks Transformer 17 is great.
You know what? We have to check what Bad Ben has.
100. 104%.
Stillman Road, though. That might have a little less. But I bet it has more than 0.
It's definitely the Dark Knight Returns of the series.
Every series needs it. You need to crash and burn so you can rise like a phoenix from the ashes.
As Nigel Bach.
And we all know the problem with the second one was it was Bachless.
That is literally the problem.
We need more Bach.
It's Bachless. Oh, before we jump into anything else, Sheridan has posted the new rules for the Final Guys drinking game.
Oh, God.
All of you following along. It says, Buttery Shea, your words are ridiculous. Bigfoot, wasn't she in Monster? He called me Jason Letterbox Brant. And my words are storytelling, considering Aronofsky, so bad it's good. And bonuses for us shitting on Jack, absolutely, and boobies.
Oh, good Lord.
You people are going
This
to
is a lot to
die.
remember.
You might have to cut this back for next week. You guys aren't going to
I
live.
got to say, these rules are ridiculous. I wish Bigfoot was here with us. But wasn't she in that movie with that guy? And the whole idea is monster.
The one with the boobies?
I just said all my words right there.
I know. I heard you.
I'm done.
I wasn't going to go that far. I need somebody to make it through the end of the show.
I'm going for full-on alcohol poisoning for these suckers.
Good call.
Okay. The other thing is keeping to box office. Do you have any desire to see Jeepers Creepers 3?
Not particularly.
Did you like the first one?
Yes. I liked it a little less on reviewings, but I thought it was a solid film. I liked it.
I liked it a lot when I first saw it, and then I found out about the director, and I said, fuck this movie. Fuck anything that comes out of this guy's little studio. So I refused to watch it. And everybody kept talking about, we're going to ban this. We're going to boycott his movies. Well, it made $1.7 million in one night.
Wait a minute.
On
it's
a
out?
Tuesday.
I guess
they did a special preview in certain theaters, but it still made more money than two Rob Zombie movies put together.
I mean, quality's about the same. My dog is trying to push her way through the closed door. I don't know if you guys heard that.
What? Jack's not here. I can be on the show.
Yeah, I didn't even know if Jeepers Creepers 3 was going to get a wide release or not. Guess it is.
Or maybe they just did like Rob Zombie with 31. They did like a one-night release. And I remember I went to see it with my daughter because she's a huge fan.
A huge fan of Rob
Friend
Zombie?
Request. Oh, huge. Enormous. She's met him. She loves him. Friend Request made a $2.2 million on its first weekend, which is justifying our not seeing it.
I've already seen it, so.
You did?
Mm-hmm. It was all right. We talked about this last week before the show.
I have stressed that I remember nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah, I saw it. It's all right. I thought Unfriended was better, significantly. But it's not a terrible movie, but I don't know if it's worth its own episode.
You went to the place where you can drink, right?
Maybe.
There you go. Then that's the only way.
It's every place for me.
They have Piranha 3D in the theater by me, which I might go see that.
Ooh, 3D or 3 double D?
3D, because double D is not as good.
Yeah, 3D really surprised me. I enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yep. Starred my favorite porn star, Gianna Michaels. What? Did I say that out loud? Sorry, that's the news that's fit not to print. Let's just run into this. I know you watched a lot.
I did. I had to cut a lot off.
Jam it in, and I know you have a book on there. Did you finish this book that you're going to talk about?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
Jack can save his coronary for next week.
I'm shocked.
It took me forever, man. This book is long.
Oh, where do you see the book I'm reading now?
I saw it on your list. Okay, I just want to get one quick one out of the way. It's not a horror movie, but I just saw it this week. Baby Driver just came out over the summer.
Yeah.
It's by a lot of people's favorite horror director, Edgar Wright, who did... now my brain's not working. Shaun of the Dead. Jesus Christ. He did Shaun of the Dead. Anyway, Baby Driver, it's one of the most unique movies you're going to see. All the action, all the dialogue is timed to the music in the movie. So even a gunfight will be at the beats of the music. Footsteps will be at the beats of the music.
No way.
I've never seen anything done like it before. It's an incredible piece of filmmaking. I highly recommend everybody check it out. So I just want to get that out of the way quick.
Cool.
I went back on Shudder and watched Witchboard, the 1986 cult classic.
I love that movie.
You know, it's preposterous. The story is dumb. The characters are kind of weird. Like the one guy just doesn't give a shit. The main guy doesn't care about anything, which is an interesting character to follow. And yet this movie has a quality. It's so much fun. And I can't even put my finger on why. It's about a freaking Ouija board.
It's for me, it's nostalgia. In fact, I wrote a whole column about it for Cemetery Dance, and my wife and I have watched it no less than 30 times since the 80s. It's like
Wow.
it's our one of our go-to movies when we're just like, oh, let's just pop on Witchboard.
I probably hadn't seen it since I was 15. I don't even think I drove when I rented it the first time.
Oh my God, shut up.
I hadn't seen it since then. I remember thinking it was kind of ridiculous then. It's completely ridiculous now, but it works. It's fun. It's just one of those movies. I'm watching it like this is just stupid, and I'm really enjoying it. So,
Yep. When back in the day at the video store, you could not get your hands on it because once everyone knew Tawny Kitane's in the shower, it was being rented out and reserved. It's like it took months before I could get it.
that was a quality scene.
It was.
Not gonna lie, because there were boobies in it, right, Sheridan? I just had to put that in there. I then went and watched finally on, I think it was also on Shudder, Cooties, the Elijah Wood, Rainn Wilson movie from 2014,
Yeah, I remember that.
horror comedy. That's from Elijah Wood's production company. I can't remember the name of it, but they put out crazy stuff like The Greasy Strangler was one of his. He's got a love for horror movies that if you ever hear him talk about them, the guy really knows his stuff. He doesn't seem to put out too many straight horror movies, though. Most of it's horror comedies, and Cooties definitely falls in that bracket. Have you seen it?
I did. It was fun. It wasn't as much fun as I wanted it to be, but it was fun.
Pretty much where I'm at. I enjoyed it. Some of the humor, particularly at the beginning, wasn't really my thing. But man, once they started just brutalizing these kids, I couldn't believe the stuff they were doing.
That was the funniest. I'm like going, why am I laughing so hard when they're just kicking the crap out of little kids?
Terribly, terribly butchering these kids. And somehow it's funny, which, I don't know, we're very twisted. So
Yeah.
I guess that works. But I enjoyed it. You know, it's a good movie. It's a great streaming option.
Oh, yeah.
I see it.
It's got a good cast. That's a solid cast.
Yeah. And it's a movie to me that got better as it went. You know, at the end, the Asian janitor's doing all this kung fu shit to these little kids, like cutting them up and stuff. It's preposterous and great.
If you're going to see like a campy kind of horror monster movie, I would pick that over Krampus. Every time.
You know, I probably would too. And I liked Krampus, but I like this too. So let's see. What else did I watch? I started watching Neil Gaiman's Likely Stories, which is a Shudder exclusive. I'm only one episode in, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I think it's maybe only 4. But I didn't quite follow the first one, I think. And I don't know if I was too drunk or too stupid. So I'll watch the rest and hit you back next week with it. And finally, I finished Nosferatu, the
God.
Joe Hill book. It is very thick.
That's how we judge books, by weight.
Sometimes. When you read as slowly as I do, man. You know, I really like this. I like all of his stuff. I haven't read a book of his yet that I didn't like. My only real complaint is the same thing I have with some of his dad's stuff and some of his stuff. It's so long. It's so long.
Yeah.
I have all these books I have to read. I was reading that, but I dug the hell out of it. Have you read that?
I haven't. I have it. I just haven't dipping into it. You like that? It's literary.
That was very smart, man.
I like that.
How much do you pay your editor?
Pay my editor.
How much of a cut do they take from every book to slog through?
They get 10% of every nothing I make.
So definitely check out Nosferatu. I think I got it on sale not that long ago. Complete steal at that price. But finally, I'm done. I can start reviewing books again. So everyone check that out, Nosferatu.
Nice.
And I'm saving the rest for maybe next week.
All right. Well, I'll just start out with my book, which I started reading. Normally, Horror-tober, I read 6 books, usually 4 full-length books and 2 novellas or whatever. This year, I am picking up again Stephen King's The Stand, the extended version. And I have come to realize I am too old and frail to read this freaking book.
Meaning you're reading it on Kindle or you're just giving up?
I'm reading it, but it's too heavy for me. So I'm sitting here with 600 pages on one hand and 600 on the other, and this is heavy cardstock paper, and it's a hardcover. And within 2 pages, my hands are trembling, my wrists hurt, my fingers hurt. So I have to put it on a pillow and read like some little old lady with it on my lap and the light just right so I can see the pages.
You've read The Stand before, right?
I've read this before. I've read the regular version. Then I found this extended version at a garage sale for $1 years ago. Read it, and I'm picking this one up again. I love this story. It's amazing.
I go back and forth between that and It as my favorite book, and it usually depends on which one I read last, and I've read It last. So right now it's probably my favorite, but I've read The Stand twice. I think I'm going to do the audiobook next. It's incredible. It's just incredible.
It really is. I don't know how he did it. Well, I do know. A lot of cocaine and Budweiser.
Whatever, it worked.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I'm thinking maybe I should take up a case of beer and 8-ball habit and see what comes out.
I've been hitting the whiskey habit. It has not been helping.
They have a whiskey bar that opened by me recently, and every time I drive by, my eyes like, I keep driving there, you dummy. All right.
Death.
Now, movies. I only going to talk about 2 that I watched. One is revisiting, I don't know, can you call 14 years ago a classic? It's getting there, right?
Yeah. Was it 25 years in Cars, I think?
Yeah. I think movies, you could do maybe 15, right on that border.
Sounds good.
I watched A Wrong Turn.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, God.
Which
15 years. Wow.
2003, I think it came out. I never saw it.
Really? How?
I never saw any of The Wrong Turns. I have no idea how that worked out. Especially because Eliza Dushku is my spirit animal.
I think she's a lot of people's spirit animal.
And Jeremy Sisto's in it. I always liked him. He was really good in, what's that movie, May? He's really good. And he had the guy who was a cop in Dexter. So it was a solid redneck. You know what? When I was watching the movie, I was thinking, I wonder if this is Jason's family. And I'm talking the mountain men. I'm not talking the poor 20-somethings.
What are you saying, man? Just because I grew up in the mountains, all right?
I was thinking the whole time, I'm going, I wonder if that's Jason's cousin.
I do have some uncles that are iffy.
These were terrifying people, but Stan Winston Studios did the effects for it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they looked so solid. They were so ugly looking, and the gore in it was extreme when they're just sawing off arms and heads and cutting people open. That's actually.
Sorry, good.
No, I was gonna say it was surprising. I really liked it.
It's a good movie. I haven't seen a single one of the sequels, but I liked that when it came out.
Isn't there like 4 or 5, 6,
There's
or
so
7
many.
Wrong Turns?
It's crazy. It's horror, of course. If you get a hit, you got to kill it.
I'm going to watch Wrong Turn 2, and I'm going to see how far down the rabbit hole I go.
Ooh, this will be interesting.
Yeah. So,
I've been thinking about doing that with Hellraiser again lately, but I don't hate myself enough to watch some of those again.
Those are punishing.
They're bad.
What you are surrounded by Cenobites when you watch those crap movies.
Yes.
You will know viewing pain.
The one where the guy's head, he becomes a Cenobite of like CDs. I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I've never seen Hellraiser in space. That one I was like, no, not going to do it.
The only one I haven't seen was the last one that came out that had a different Pinhead. I didn't watch that.
Oh, one. Yeah. Cedric the Entertainer is Pinhead.
Danny DeVito.
Danny Aiello. Great. Just great. Old fat Cenobites. The other movie I just watched today, and just like you, I'm a sucker for alien abduction UFO movies, and I kept seeing the coming attractions for this, and I'm like, it looks solid, which is kudos to the person who edited the preview. The Gracefield Incident, which is a steaming turd from outer space. Directed to your TV and in your face. Oh my God. You said you saw some of it and you bailed.
I couldn't handle the fact that it was obviously dubbed, and I couldn't understand why, because the lips matched. Like the people, perfectly. The actors were speaking English, but they dubbed all their voices, and it was so distracting.
Dubbed their voices with weird sounding accented English, which from what I looked at, they were Russian, that was filmed in Canada. The
In
it's
English.
in English, in weird English. It's a mashup between Extraterrestrial, Signs, Close Encounters, with the special effects of a Nigel Bach movie, because the alien is so prominent towards the end, and they are so bad. Whatever investment I had, I was like, oh, give me an effing break, man. It was stupendously dumb.
I think where I bailed was when the meteor crashed and he just reached right in and pulled the meteor out. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And
good.
oh, it's cold. Do you want to hold it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I spent $5 freaking dollars on this movie today. Just don't. This is my PSA to the world. Do not see this stupid movie. If you want to watch a found footage UFO movie that's good and has some intelligence, watch Absence. It's a movie about a woman who lost a child, and she thinks maybe the UFOs took her child, but nobody believes her, and they go back to the cabin.
Found footage movie.
Found footage movie
seen
done
that.
intelligently and well. So check out Absence, not the... I keep thinking the Gonsfeld experiment, the Gracefield incident. Jesus Christ. Whatever. Just don't see it. You can thank Uncle Hunter when I save you some bucks. All right. So those are my movies. We are going to jump right in, and I think we should start with the big hitter. Better Ben. I mean Gerald's Game. I think Gerald's Game is getting a little more press than Better Ben. I'm not entirely sure.
It's neck and neck. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, it's close. I mean, you go on to like ratings, you know, Gerald's Game has like thousands. Better Ben is up to about 17. So it's anybody's race at this point. Jason, do you want to explain what Gerald's Game is all about?
Sure. A woman and her husband are they're around 50, I think.
Mhm.
Something like that. They're trying to rekindle their marriage, so they go up into a cabin in the woods for some smexy time. The husband handcuffs the wife to the bed, has a heart attack, keels over, and dies, and she is stuck handcuffed to the bed. And the rest of the movie is her trying to get out of this, but also dealing with her inner demons. That's pretty much sums it up.
I wish now on audio, I wish people could see. All I'm looking at is your shirt as it lights up when you talk.
It is pretty slick, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I'm going to wash it because all the electronics are like in the shirt, but
Oh, yeah.
this could be a one and done.
It just gets smellier and smellier. Wear it week after week.
I'm going to wear this on so bad it's good, and then I'll probably never wear it again. So
Well, this gives me an excuse to stare at your manly chest.
I do have flabby and small pecs.
And one giant hair that grows out of my left nipple. So you saw it. You Netflixed it. You Netflixed and chilled. What'd you think?
I thought it was great. It's a Mike Flanagan movie, so you know there's automatically going to be a certain level of quality. He did Hush. He did Oculus. He did Ouija, Origin of Evil, I think it was called.
Yep.
Is that it? I know I'm missing some other ones in there. This guy's really on point. He's one of the young, new, excellent voices in horror. So my expectations were high, and I thought it was a good movie. I thought it lagged a little bit in the middle. I started like, okay, you know, we're doing a lot of talking to ourselves, but it wasn't long, and I thought the ending was tremendous. And as far as being accurate to the novel, I mean, this is pretty on point.
It's on point, but by changing enough, I mean, a lot has changed. Because I just read the novel a couple of weeks ago. Because I used to tell people, Gerald's Game, that's the best. That's one of the best Stephen King books ever written. I read it. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It's a great concept. It's originally was supposed to be a short story that just grew and grew and grew into a 450-page novel. The book itself is a little long-winded. The last few chapters are great.
Are you trying to say a Stephen King book is really long?
Yeah, it's really long. It's really interesting. It's really long. I had always wondered how they would turn this into a movie, because And look, this isn't a spoiler. Once the husband drops dead of a heart attack, it's her in there. And in the book, she like starts to hallucinate almost immediately, and it's all these internal conversations she's having with all these people from her past. And I think what they did in this movie by funneling those characters into herself, another part of her, the wiser part of herself, and her husband, I thought it was a brilliant, brilliant move. And I think the performances by Carla Gugino and what's his name, Bruce Greenwood, they were solid as hell, man. What great casting that was.
Yeah, they were fantastic. When I say it's accurate to the book, I mean in tone.
Right.
Much like It. They changed quite a bit of it, but they got the tone of the novel right in the movie, and I felt like they got the tone of Gerald's Game right in the movie.
It looked slick too. I thought it was shot. I like this movie. I thought this was a better movie than It. But then again, that's because I'm not in love with the It source material. But as a movie, I was locked into this.
To me, the filmmaking is definitely on par. I will go back and watch It again before I go back and watch Gerald's Game again, just because it has more going on, a lot crazy stuff. Filmmaking wise, they're pretty neck and neck. I mean, it's a completely different kind of horror movie, completely different kind.
Right.
But they're both excellent.
I did like the way they took in the book. Her husband he's a little younger than he is in this movie. And the husband's like in his early 40s in the book. He's heavy. So he's a workaholic lawyer who's flabby. And I like how they changed it because back in that day, they didn't have Viagra. So this, they could make her husband fit, trim and everything, but he's also, popping them Viagras that doing him in.
Yes. I thought that was a good little twist to it. Nice little modern take. And I thought it was actually a brave performance on both of their parts. She's in lingerie for an entire movie, and he's in boxers the entire movie. And how old is he? He's got to be 60.
Yeah, I wish I had his freaking body, man.
He's a freaking 60-year-old dude in his boxers the whole time. So I'm glad maybe they didn't go with the schlubbier approach. Maybe guy a little abbed up.
I thought also another thing in the book, only because I just read it. In the book, she kicks him in the balls, and then he has a heart attack. And there's a lot of internalizing with her, wondering, did my shot to the balls trigger that heart attack? And so this whole level of guilt that's playing with her. And when that didn't happen, I looked at my wife and said, well, they just took a pillar away from the book. You got the whole... But 5 minutes later, I totally forgot my stupid objection. I was like, you know what? Solid. And Carla Gugino has been and will continue to be one of my top 10 favorites. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's incredible. Everything she does, she is the shit in. Even down to shows like Entourage. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yep.
Her role in that, she's great. She's the shit.
She's monster. Drink, everybody. Drink, everybody. Doing what I can to help you out. Should we get into... we both like it. Look, we don't need to take a poll. Both dig it.
And you can watch it on Netflix. I mean...
Yeah, we can't say watch it in the theater.
It's a no-brainer.
Just watch it on Netflix. Let's do a little bit of spoilers.
Let's just do a couple minutes. That way that anyone listening who wants to listen for Bad Ben can come right back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, basically the one thing I want to talk about in spoilers here. If you're not, just come back in like 3 minutes and we'll be back. I didn't know how they were going to handle the degloving at the end.
Oh.
I thought, they might show a little bit and then kind of cut away as she's doing it. Holy shit. Close up in your face, pulling her own skin off. My God, I couldn't believe they did it that way. And it was amazing.
I actually, when it was coming, when it was like mid-hand.
Yeah.
I'm in my living room. I go, stop. Because it looked like it was going to go right over her fingers. And I'm like, no.
I thought she was pulling all that off, buddy.
Oh, yeah. They went there. There's gross stuff in this. The dog just pulling up those big strips of flesh and tendons as he's eating her husband. Oh, gross stuff.
That scene because it's building. The whole thing's building to it, and you're waiting. And when she started cutting her hand, and they weren't showing a ton of that, just a little bit. And I thought, okay, they're going to kind of tastefully shoot around this, Oh, no, no, no.
Nope. Full on, brother.
Kudos to Flanagan for going for it, because that's one of the most important scenes of the movie, and he just, boom, went for it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And I love the, what's the name of the crypt killer or whatever? I forget his name. He was freaking terrifying.
They nailed his look. Absolutely nailed it.
You know what? You're right, because that's pretty much what I pictured in my head reading the book. And I mean, I hope to God there's a lot of prosthetics on that dude. I hope he's not like Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes. Where, show us your mask. This is my mask.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love that concept of, you think that the monster in your room is just your imagination, and he's thinking that she's in his imagination, which is the only reason she's alive to tell the tale.
Yep.
So cool.
They nailed it. I mean, there's nothing more I need to say. He just nailed it.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. Everyone should watch it. Mike Flanagan is one of those guys, I want him to start getting bigger movies, but at the same time, I don't. Because what he's been able to do with all these small budget horror movies has been incredible.
You know what? Unfortunately, or fortunately, he's going to get something much bigger after this. I wonder if he has a contract with Netflix, because wasn't Hush, didn't that come straight to Netflix too?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he might have, like Duplass has a 6-movie deal with Netflix, so maybe he has that. So we'll get some more little ones.
And I'm not even saying he wouldn't do a good job. He'd probably kill it. But I just like, I don't know if maybe part of his creativity, he works really well with constraints, because he's been able to do some cool stuff without a whole lot. He had 3 actors essentially in this movie.
Right.
And it was entertaining. When you watch Oculus, there are 2 actors in the whole movie. When you watch Hush, there are 2 actors in the movie. And he's killing it.
I think constraint helps a lot of people, a lot of artists. I mean, I'm a Prince fan. When Prince had a label that was on top of him editing his stuff, he put out gold. When he emancipated himself and was just putting out 3 disc sets and every song was 25 minutes long, I was like, dude, I love you, but I can't listen to this shit. You need a no man to help you out.
A lot of people do. And again, I don't know. This guy could get the next Batman vs Superman and knock it out of the park, but I like what he's doing now. I could watch these forever.
I wonder if Marvel or DC will snap him up.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Blumhouse do a bunch of stuff with him.
That would be a nice union. I'll go for that. I'll go for that. All right. It's funny. It's a movie. It's an hour and 40 minutes, but there's not a whole lot to talk about in the movie.
No.
It's such a basic, bare bones presentation.
It's a woman fighting with her past and her present at the same time.
Right.
And I don't want to go into all the details. I just really want to talk about the degloving thing, but it's good stuff.
Yeah,
you're right. There's really not as much to talk about. I have a feeling we're going to have more to talk about with our next feature.
Look, we saw greatness. Gerald's Game will be in my top 10 list this year.
Yep, me too.
Guaranteed. Maybe top 5.
So is Stephen King actually going to have 2 movies good enough to be in a top 10 in 1 year? That's insane. That never happens.
What a year. He's had it, and he's got Gerald's Game. I don't know how well Gerald's Game is doing in viewership-wise. The ratings are pretty good, pretty solid. He's had The Dark Tower, fail. He's had The Mist, fail. And Steve Barnard told me that
Mr.
Mercedes, which, how is that not getting any play whatsoever?
I think it's on one of those streaming things. I think that's why. It's like a streaming thing nobody has.
That's weird. That's a weird decision.
I've heard it's actually really good, though.
Those books are good.
Yeah, they're really good.
I couldn't read the third. So ridiculous. But in the third, he's dying of pancreatic cancer. And when I got the book, I found out my cousin was dying of pancreatic cancer. It's like, well, I can't read this. Like, I was having pains in my pancreas. I'm like going, oh, God, do I have it now? It's serious. I'm like sitting there last summer. I'm like sitting by the pool. I'm like, oh, Like, Google, where's my pancreas? Oh, crap, that's where my pancreas is. I'm like, I got to put this freaking book down.
I gotta stop drinking.
I'm a mental patient. No, I started drinking then.
Smart move.
Yeah.
I might have cancer. Let's get hammered.
Why not? Why not? All right. We are going to tackle the greatest movie that we saw at the exact time that we saw the movie. There was no better movie that we saw at the exact time that we saw this movie. Nigel Bach's, perhaps the end of his trilogy, the arc of the Jersey Devil Demon Ghost matchup.
What do you call this trilogy? The Bad Ben trilogy? The Steelmanville Road trilogy?
I know that he calls people who like it Benites, which makes me feel, I don't know, quasi-religious or something.
Nigel Bach can call me anything he wants.
Nigel Bach won't return my call, so screw him. No. Better Ben, I guess I'll tackle this. Better Ben he's filming back in what I assume is his home. I hope to God he's not making all these movies in some poor schmuck's home when they're out. It follows the first movie. So Bad Ben, Nigel Bach. Why do I keep calling him Nigel Bach? Isn't his name Tom Riley or something like that? You can look that up.
Tom Riley.
Okay. So Tom Riley buys a house at an auction and he's going to flip it. I'm just going to flip it. So he goes in with his iPad and his slippers and his slider slippers and socks. And finds out that the whole house is completely haunted by what we don't know. There's a bad Ben somewhere in there. There's ghosts. At the end of that movie, he's dragged down the cellar by some screaming creature, and we assume he's dead. The second movie, Steelmanville Road, is the road that the house is on, and it centers on the family that lived there before him. That movie is... I'm not even going to discuss the movie. He's not in it. It's not good.
There are 0 goddammits in that movie.
No, fuck my life. Nothing worth watching in that movie. The only reason to watch that movie is just to say you're fully invested because you can really get into Better Ben, which a paranormal group is filming a show about the house, and they find Nigel Bach on a security cam in some cigar store or something. And since he's living in a tent in the woods, the offer of money to revisit the house gets him to go with them. And they're there to figure out the secret of what's haunting the house. Sound good?
I think you nailed it.
All right, there we go. What did you think of? It was Better Ben, everything that we had built it up to be in our minds, our tiny little minds.
This movie, before I get into the whole thing, I'm just going to expound a little bit on what I said earlier. The third act of this movie is hilarious and is worth everything.
They were really playing it for laughs this time around.
Yes, and that's kind of my issue with the beginning. I felt that some of the other acting, some of it wasn't as bad as I expected, and some of it was not the best. But some of it was also the way it was shot. I mean, there were some long-ass takes with these people. Like, that's hard to do. Let alone when you have somebody literally filming it with an iPad. I don't know if you caught that.
Yes.
Dude, maybe we could get a camera here. This is supposed to be a huge paranormal show, and the guy's filming it on his iPad. There was things like she's supposed to be the host of this show, this great legendary medium or whatever, and she's in shorts and sandals and like a t-shirt on without their logo, nothing. I'm like, man, this is the shittiest paranormal investigation show I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
So there was some off and on stuff with that. Some of it was funny, some of it wasn't. Everything Nigel Bach did was hilarious. I'm not exaggerating that. Every time he shows up, when he's running and stuff, it's the best. He makes fun of himself. He calls himself was it a fat bald guy with a Jersey accent?
Yes.
Glorious. I love it. He's got the best. He legitimately has a good sense of humor.
When you watch this in that movie that I think told you everything about the actual intention of the movie when he goes, I'm doing it for the fucking money. Why else do you think I'm doing this? I'm thinking, yep, you are. Whatever money he's making. Going
through some of that stuff, some of their investigation stuff, I was waiting for the Nigel Bach stuff, and it was starting to maybe not be as good as I hoped when they were doing their show.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a point right around the third act, I think, where it goes back to the security cameras in the house from Batter Ben, and from then on, the movie is glorious.
And by the way, there's no explanation why the security cameras suddenly go on.
I didn't quite catch that.
Nor is there an explanation why he manually starts turning them off.
I didn't get that either. He didn't want to be recorded or something?
He walks around with his little step ladder all throughout the house and making this running commentary the whole time, just cracking wise.
Which is obviously dubbed. You never see his mouth.
His mouth isn't moving at all.
It's just dubbed. It's great.
And every time he turns one off, my wife goes, "Why the fuck is he doing that?" I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want us to see what's going on anymore.
What did you think of the movie?
I had a blast with this movie. It was everything I was hoping it would be. In fact, because it was so tidy, because it did wrap everything up pretty much. It made some sense of the second one that made no sense. I might put this trilogy, might make my top 13 lists for the year, because no movie I've watched this year has had more of an impact on me.
It's basically taken over this whole show.
And you and Jack, it has ruled our lives. It's ridiculous.
Is this better than the Star Wars prequel trilogy?
Oh, so much better.
I get more entertainment out of it, honestly.
Yes, it's endless. I'm a Benite. I want
100%.
merch.
And I'm not just shitting on Nigel Bach here. I know we like to laugh at all the things in it. I legitimately get entertainment out of this.
No, we laugh with him.
This movie told me for sure that he's really going for a lot of comedy in these. When you watch this, I mean, it can't be denied. Because a lot of people thought, was he being funny in Bad Ben? Or was it kind of so bad it's good thing? He's clearly going for a lot of laughs.
Oh, completely. Completely. And I laughed at every stupid joke that was in there and all the stuff that maybe they didn't intend me to laugh at. But I'm starting to get the feeling that even that stuff's intentional. He knows what he's dealing with and what he's doing.
I think so. I think so.
And we're impressed by him to do what he's done with. How much money do you think he's spending on these movies?
$4, $8? No, I don't know how much he's paying the actors. I'm assuming that and any equipment he didn't have is where it came from. I mean, he's using his own house.
Right.
He's getting Subway before each night of shooting. I don't know. Not hundreds of dollars. Max.
It is amazing. When after Bad Ben, when we found out that Steelman Mill Road was a thing, my wife and I where is it? Like, we had to watch it immediately. And when we heard about this over a month ago, it was like, put it on the watch list, make sure the first day it comes up, we buy it. Like, there's no other movie that's gotten me like that this year.
Yep.
It's
100%.
Tiny little. And by the way, everybody, the first movie, Bad Ben, you think is about a ghost of a boy named Ben. It really isn't.
Nope.
Bad Ben is the Jersey Devil who has grown affectionate towards Tom Riley to the point where I guess he likes to play with him, a little rough play.
I don't know. He was chasing
you. Cut this shit out.
He was chasing him through the woods at one point, and then it's fine. He gets back okay.
Yeah.
But the CG of that monster was great.
Oh my god.
And he didn't keep it in the shadows too much. I mean, there was a good close-up there.
Yo. There was no mistaking what we were. Well, it didn't look like a Jersey Devil, but whatever. We knew what it was supposed to be.
There were spirits of the people who lived there in Steelmanville Road.
Right.
There was a demonic presence.
Correct.
And there was the Jersey Devil, all in Nigel Bach's house.
Yes.
Tom Riley.
I wouldn't want to live in that house. When they were talking about like the spirit of the family, and then the demonic spirit in the second one, I was thinking, well, then who was that ghost boy that just kept popping up in hallways left and right? Unless that was the demon?
That's a good question. I don't know.
There was a flash of nudity that had me so excited when Tom is wrestling with the Jersey Devil who keeps trying to pull him down the stairs and is pulling off his clothes. I said, we are going to get a shirtless Nigel Bach in a
That's what I thought.
Because that shirt was coming way off.
We got way better than that. We got full frontal Nigel Bach. And the sensor bar he had over his dick, first of all, was like a yard long. And it was like flapping when he turned sideways. Oh, that was so funny.
He got another big bar on his ass crack.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, that was awesome. I also love the fact that he was wearing his uniform from Bad Ben, which was boxer shorts and a t-shirt, white t-shirt, and his slippers and socks.
If he's going to... what's the point of filming a movie in your own house if you're not going to just be comfortable?
No other actor has been more comfortable than Nigel Bach in a movie. Ever.
And again, I want to make it clear, I'm not making fun of the guy. I what he's done, getting us interested in these movies by just shooting in his freaking house with apparently an iPad and God knows what else, it's well done. The guy's got a good sense of humor. I love it.
He has a good sense of humor. I don't know. There was a couple of moments that actually made my wife jump. She jumped in all three movies at one point or another.
Really? Steelmanville Road, too?
Yeah, but I couldn't believe it myself. But there were a couple of things that made her jump. So I'm like, if she's jumping, less horror proficient folks are, getting some jump scares out of it too. I just words defy me. I can't say enough about these movies.
What did you think about the shot where they were upstairs? I think they were just walking around the house, or maybe the power had gone out, and you see the shot of the creature with the glowing eyes. I thought that was really well done. That
was scary.
Where was that for the rest of the movie? That was amazing.
Because that was as the camera's panning, then the camera starts to fade out. It reminded me of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Yes, actually, that's on point.
It definitely had that feel to it. It's a serious scene. I almost pissed myself when he's walking in the hallway and that attic ladder hits him in the head and knocks him out. Well, not even knocks him out, just stuns him for a second. And I'm like, that has to be CGI.
Oh, that was definitely an effect, yeah. Yeah, it looked like it was sped up or something. I don't know.
That's the best special effect he's done in all three movies.
Sometimes he does some of these effects. I'm like, man, probably shouldn't have gone with that. And then sometimes that was hilarious. Like, it totally worked.
But then he gets up and just shovels right back downstairs and gets battered around. The man is unstoppable.
I love the scenes where we get to see him run or yell at the demon. When he's trying to open the door and won't open, he goes, "Stop it!" And then it opens.
I'm not afraid of you. Oh, my God.
When the woman was telling him that she was going to protect him, and she was a very small woman. She was...
Yeah, sure, the 95-pound girl is going to protect me.
Exactly.
I'm 105. 10 pounds makes a difference.
Yeah. His dialogue is great, and I'm assuming he writes everything, but his delivery makes this stuff hilarious, and some of the other actors' delivery did not. The comedy did not come through. I don't know if it was supposed to, or if he was writing them as more the straight man to his insanity, but
yeah,
I could just watch another Bad Ben with him, just walking around swearing, getting his clothes pulled off. Just
the clothes pulled off was as we say in my family, the coup de grace. It was. Well, if you didn't see it to the end, folks, there is a possibility for more, because at the very end he opens up his own ghost hunting company with a terrible cheesy ass commercial, which if it was for real, I would invite him over here to get rid of the boy in my house and just have a bunch of beer with him.
I wanted to mention that at the end. We're not really giving spoiler. It's Bad or Ben.
Whatever. It's not going to spoil a damn thing. You're going to enjoy it.
He did a great job with that ending, with the fake commercial and then the screen capture of his computer getting emails.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read the emails?
They were going so fast, I couldn't really
I paused
catch
it
much.
and read them, and they're all hilarious.
Are
Like
they?
he's getting stuff from the Democratic National Committee, the Republican National Committee, and they're all like shitting on each other. He's got tons. There's something in there about his credit score, and they've never seen someone with a credit score of 0 or something like that. And just there's all this great stuff in there. He really did a good job.
And then it flashed to that couple who sent that video of him, and they're talking about their haunting. And you see something coming towards them, and he just delete.
He deletes it.
They very obviously have something terrifying in their house. Fuck it. God damn it. I don't have time for them.
That was a good shot too. That couple talking and in the black, that was good.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
I'm telling you, if somebody is stuck on aesthetics, there are still enough good parts in here. This is a guy who has obviously watched a lot of found footage and paranormal movies. He knows what the beats are, but he also knows, like Dirty Harry said, man's got to know his limitations, and his limitation is budget.
It's $4.50.
So you got to do what you got to do, and he does it, and he does it well. And I'm assuming he could probably make another one in 3 weeks, and we should hopefully get one before Christmas.
I've got to see some of this Ghost Hunter stuff. Tom Riley going to people's houses and just cursing up a storm, eating all their food, drinking their beer. He shows up in socks and sandals.
Taking showers. He took a lot of showers.
He took a lot of showers.
He was very dirty. I would volunteer my house. I would volunteer my house and the house of anybody I know, whether they want to give it up or not. So, Nigel Bach, if you are looking for a house for your next movie, you contact us here, Final Guys. I will get you. You want a house? I'll get you a house.
How do we get involved with the production of some of these movies? I just want a cameo. I just want to be in the credits. I've got to get involved with this. I can help. I can help with the writing. You don't want me to act in it. I'm the worst fucking actor ever. Like if I was playing myself, I would fuck it up.
I've seen SBIG. You do some acting in there. Maybe because the movie clips are so terrible, you look great in comparison.
Also, compared to my co-host, I'm pretty incredible. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, you might need shock paddles for him a couple of times. Clear!
Nigel, I want to help, man. I don't care if you need equipment. I will help you. But if you keep making movies, I want to help it happen. I love it.
If you need Bad Ben the Jersey Devil to rip the clothes off somebody, and then when you have to edit, you only have to put a little dot on their junk, Jason's your man. God damn it, I don't have all this CGI stuff. All I got's a dot.
I did want to mention, I don't think we got a Nigel Bach goddammit in this. Another character said it, but he did not.
Forget it. I don't care. He's always goddamn it to me.
It was just, I really would have liked him to slip one in. Honestly, and I know this isn't the case, but it felt like he watched our discussion of Bad Ben and then just worked everything we loved about it into this movie except goddammit, because he got it all in there.
He was probably like, I'll give them everything, but the one thing that they keep harping on, those jerks.
I mean, the swearing was in there, his sandals, and I mean, just everything he did that made it so funny. His accent when he was swearing, and he brought it all up too. Like he's not hiding from it.
No, and also because they're filming a show and they have to keep cutting. He keeps saying fuck and shit and everything like that.
That was great.
It would kind of be like me and you being interviewed for something at this point.
Totally.
I don't think we could go.
People don't invite me to their child's first birthday parties for a reason.
You know, when my kids were little, we got a video camera for my daughter. My oldest was born in '97. So we got a video camera for my parents, and, we videotaped everything. On watching these tapes now, I realized my best friend and he would be at every event, and we would be hammered, and then I would start filming these little kid parties. And just the running drunken commentary and the filth coming out of our mouths as we're mocking everyone in the family and the friends. I'm like, jeez, I can't let my kids even watch these friggin' tapes. I got to pull the audio out.
Yep,
idiots.
That about sums it up.
Idiots.
Some Wonder Buns in the live discussion just said we could do the novelizations for his movies. Now that is a brilliant idea.
Oh my God. Yes.
You guys need to start getting on this dude on Twitter and tell him to get a hold of us. I've messaged him or I've
I have
tweeted him or
too.
something. Yeah, I
He's
never
got
got
like
a response.
102 followers. So come on. You can't answer us when we're calling.
We're not making fun of you, dude. We think you are the shit. And I will write your novelizations. Let's work a deal out.
I'm thinking Bad Ben, House of God Damn It. and I want to write it, and I want to give it to him. I want him to look at it and go, God damn it, why'd you do that?
I mean, he could read the audiobooks. Right?
I want to read my audiobooks. Whoa, wait a second. This is we got to start writing shit down.
Man, I like the novelizations idea. That is brilliant.
That really is.
Just do some novellas or something. That'd be amazing. The Bad Beniverse.
The Beniverse. Well, Sheridan said he has 456 followers on Twitter, which is a big jump because he didn't have that many like 2 weeks ago. So Better Ben must be like doing gangbusters for him.
Dude, I hope so. And I really hope he goes on to do the sequel that he teased.
I wonder how much Amazon pays him to be Prime exclusive.
I have a feeling it's like Kindle Select. He's probably putting it in himself so that it can be watched on Prime, and then he probably gets paid per view if it's somebody who's a Prime subscriber.
Right.
That's my guess. I mean, that's how Kindle Select works.
And because he's Prime, the movie's getting a nice spot on people's, things to watch. I'm telling you, man, it's genius. It's
Dude, I will hook you up with my cover artist. She does good shit. We'll get some slick covers on these bad boys.
That's right. Oh, man, do we want to make it too good? How far do you want it? See, this is the problem. You can't polish it too much, man. That's what happens when...
I 100% agree. And that's why I don't want to do much with the filmmaking. The dude has his own genius. I don't want to write his movies because I won't do it right. But I want people to see this. And the cover is... The cover actually represents the movie well. But
it's perfect.
There's going to be a lot of people who don't click on it.
The Stillmanville Road cover is terrible.
I don't remember what it is.
Like something out of someone's family photo album. Just ripped out and just put Stillmanville Road.
Well, what else needs to be said? If you haven't watched Bad Ben and Badder Ben, do it now.
And Tim Meyer, you live right near this guy. Find out where he is. Knock on his door. Be our emissary. And we will pay you in, I don't know.
Find Bach Studios. That's what it said, the end credits.
Yeah.
Filmed on location at Bach Studios, which I'm guessing is his front room.
By the way, that's a really nice house.
He has like 6 living rooms with televisions and couches in them. It just never ends. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's got a huge house. I want to know, is he married? Does he have kids? Is he divorced? I want to know his story now. Oh, maybe we can write his biography.
I'll do anything this freaking guy wants, man. I just want to be involved in these pictures.
Yeah, we're laying it out there. We are 2 working authors. We are 2 full-time authors laying it out to give him gratis services for whatever he needs.
I like the novelizations idea. That's...
Yeah. I think we got to give Wonder Buns a cut in that sucker.
Yeah. I want cameos. I don't care. I will act in your shit for free. It's going to bring the production quality down if I'm acting.
Oh, that'll be priceless.
I'm not exaggerating. I did a commercial when I lived in Pittsburgh, and I had one line. It took like 40 takes, and finally they were just like, "You're using the same line." I'm like, they were giving me instruction, and apparently I just kept saying the line the exact same way, even though in my mind I was changing it. They were just like, "You're the worst actor I've ever seen."
You ever see that episode of Friends where Joey has to just say, good soup?
Yes.
And he just keeps going, soup.
Yeah, noodle soup. That's what it was. Then they had me try a radio ad, and they kept stop doing a sexy voice. You're doing a weird sexy voice. I'm like, no, I'm not. And they brought me in the booth. I listened. I'm like, why am I doing a sexy voice? So I went back into the studio and the mic, and I just did it again. I don't know. There's some weird disconnect.
You are sabotaging yourself. You're afraid to let it out. But now look at you.
With these looks, I mean, I should be a big star in Hollywood, but I just don't have the chops.
Yeah, or at least on Tampa Housewives, XXX.com.
I should at least be starring in Badder Ben. Holding an iPad recording.
And, oh, by the way, the last thing, I love the fact that the guy who's recording everything, he's like, why do they keep calling me Schmitty? That's not my name.
That was such a great line. That's not even my name.
It's not his character's name, but it's his name in real life.
Yes. One other thing before we go. No one is wearing a uniform in this freaking movie, except the director is wearing a hat that says director.
Yeah, he got that from the dollar store somewhere.
This movie is brilliant. Amazon Prime. Kids, if you ever thought you wanted to make a movie, but you live in Portland and you just can't get to Hollywood, you can do anything. Amazon Prime, you can do it.
Yes.
Nigel Bach's doing it at his house.
He is inspiring everybody at this point.
Yes.
God bless Nigel Bach.
Go follow him on Twitter. Tell him the Final Guy sent you.
That's right. Please. And I'm serious. I'm dead serious. You all need to start pestering him about us working with him. Because I'm going to.
I love his shit. Love it.
Okay. Well, we're going to change gears dramatically next week. To say the least, we are going to be reviewing Blade Runner 2049, which by 2049, I'm assuming Harrison Ford will still be doing Star Wars and Blade Runner movies and Indiana Jones. He'll just be like a puppet.
But will he be awake in this? Is the question.
It's awake or stoned because he's supposedly the biggest stoner in Hollywood.
He was awake for Star Wars, so I was happy for that. But some of his other roles in the last 10 years, doesn't seem to care so much.
Well, he's what, 75?
It's old enough to not care so much.
Exactly. Well, the fuck am I doing this? I think he's got a special affinity for Blade Runner. And I love that they're using the music from the original. It seems to have the same color palette from the original. So we shall see.
This is the director who did Arrival. Is that correct?
Yes. Which Arrival was
phenomenal.
drop dead awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous, but I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. I was a big fan of the Philip K. Dick book, a huge fan of the original. I own different versions of the movie. I own the soundtrack in 3 different versions. So I've got a lot invested in this. This better not suck. I like Ryan Gosling. He can be good.
Before we get out of here, if anyone wants a laugh, go on YouTube and look up Harrison Ford's intro to the movie. His voiceover narration that they ended up removing. You can go look it up. It is the least inspired voice acting you will ever hear in your life. He purposely did it bad, thinking they wouldn't put it in the movie. And when they released it, it was in the movie.
Oh, my God.
It's incredible.
Poor guy. And everybody, just final word, Final Guys. We're at finalguys.com. Come over, visit, download us on iTunes, see us on YouTube, and like us and rate us. And please keep us going. Keep us going so that way we're alive for Nigel Bach to finally acknowledge our presence and bring us on board. That's all we're asking for.
Live video every Tuesday on YouTube. Audio goes up every Wednesday morning.
And tune in to see Jason's shiny, bright, lighting up shirt.
It is pretty slick right now. I'm not going to lie.
I am double daring you. Don't wash that shirt until the new year, but keep wearing it every week.
Why would I want to do that?
It's not going to affect me or Jack because we can't smell you.
It will when I mail it to you.
Oh, God.
You'll smell it in the mailbox.
Look at them pit stains. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you next week on Final Guys. And, keep doing whatever the fuck you're doing. Bye.
Nigel Bach for life.